All right, so last night we witnessed a fantastic concert.
We did.
It was great. It was Weird Al Yankovic, and there weren't any opening acts to speak of.
Well, it was like a warm-up.
The thing is, the orchestra that did the opening was still there to play with Al after. Yes. So the orchestra opens with Raiders of the Lost Ark, Mission Impossible, Superman, and the end credits from Star Wars. And it was great.
That was really fun.
There was a lot of cheering for them.
Yes, people really liked.
There was a lot of crowd participation throughout the concert, which I thought was interesting. Because it was an older crowd than we're used to.
It was. The whole audience. It was so different than most other concerts we go to.
A lot of Hawaiian shirts.
There were so many. I've never seen so many Hawaiian shirts in my life.
Because that's what Al wears.
Right.
So you wear a Hawaiian shirt.
But, so
I have one, and of course I didn't wear it.
We normally go to metal or rock concerts. So this was a very different audience than we're used to.
It was so fun. It was so fun.
It was so different.
And then, so the main set, I Lost on Jeopardy, I Love Rocky Road, and Like a Surgeon were done as a medley.
And he did them quite different. Like, he did them as a...
lounge act.
Yeah.
Like a lounge singer, and it was great.
Yeah, it was kind of funny.
Biggest Ball of Twine in Minnesota was next, which is always a fun song.
And he had like the video on
footage.
The screen behind him.
Yeah, that was fun. That was interesting. Word Crimes was up next.
That was really fun.
Which is like the most fun.
It is. That's a fun song. And again, it had the video on the screen behind him.
And you laugh all the way through it.
Yes.
Because you kind of have to.
Yes.
And it was amazing. Then he went into Jurassic Park. The funny thing is, I'm not a fan of the Jurassic Park movies. Sorry, I actually like the third one the best, probably because it's the shortest. Good, it's finally over. Oh, it's only an hour and a half. Thank you. And so the Jurassic Park song I've always been kind of about, but it was fun watching it live and him singing it, and they had the video in the background again, which I thought was really interesting. Then Don't Download This Song, which I hadn't heard before.
No, I hadn't heard that one before.
But there was a full video with it as well. It mentions Napster and Morpheus, so I'm going to go ahead and guess it's an older song, just one we hadn't heard before.
Early 2000s song.
And it was, there were two people who put up lighters, which I thought was great. So if you were one of the ones who put up a lighter, good job. And if I had one, I would have put it up too. It was just, it was just great. Just don't download the song, and it was so much fun.
It was funny.
And then they followed that with Weasel Stomping Day, which you'd never heard before.
I've never heard that one.
But of course, being a big Robot Chicken fan, I love that song. I also love that episode of Robot Chicken, which has Weird Al all the way through it. It is absolutely amazing. It's great. There's a segment in that episode where his friends find out they can make a wish on a star, and they get to do whatever they want to. So one of them wishes he's a transformer, and he turns into a giant robot transformer. One of the others, he becomes a dinosaur. So Weasel Stomping Day, which I know is probably a little grim for you, but
yeah, I didn't really like that one.
It's really funny though. It's really funny. Anyways, and then they go into You Don't Love Me Anymore, which is just such an absolutely
funny song.
Amazing, romantical song. And I guess if you're going to have a set list from Weird Al, it either has this one or it has Good Old Days. Now, personally, I prefer Good Old Days, but I'll accept You Don't Love Me Anymore as a valid substitution for it. Both songs are hilarious. And then it went into Tacky, which was based on a song you've never heard.
I don't know the real song, no.
But for Tacky, he went through the crowd.
Yeah, that was funny. And he had a camera with him.
It was so funny.
Showed up on the screen.
It was so funny.
So that was fun.
He is naturally a very funny person, and his physical comedy is just as good as his lyrical comedy, and he's genuinely really, really funny. Then they played and I thought it went on a little long, Harvey the Wonder Hamster. That's a really long song. It was like the Indigata Devita version.
It was so funny.
Well, because he sets it up like, okay, we're going to do the unabridged version. We can finally play it because we got a 41-piece orchestra.
Never done it
and
live.
we've never done it live, and it's just, it needs to be done properly.
And the lyrics I wrote a long time ago, and this song means a lot to me.
Yeah, it's a very deep meaning for me. And then it's Harvey the Wonder Hamster, which is like 20 seconds.
If that. I don't think it's 20 seconds long.
It is a very short song. And then I went into Jackson Park Express, which I'd never heard before. But holy crap, that story that the song tells is really funny.
Oh, it's funny.
It is just, yeah, I thought it was a really funny song. I thought it was really a well-told story.
It's funny.
That, again, only Al can do it. And then at this part, we start getting into the costume changes.
Yeah.
So when he's doing costume changes and the band was going with him, they would put up videos on the screen, and they showed, like, for one of them, there was a part of UHF where the kid drinks out of the fire hose.
Yeah.
UHF is one of the greatest movies in the history of movies. It is absolutely fantastic. And they had basically any reference made to Al Yankovic.
Yeah, it had little, like, clip of any, like, sitcoms that
King of the Hill.
referenced him.
King of the Hill referenced him.
It had the part in The Simpsons
and they
when
had
he
Friends.
writes the little song.
Friends with Monica, where her hair's all...
Oh, yeah.
And Chandler says, I'm leaving with Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah.
And, yeah, just any reference made to him. Him being a national treasure, being mentioned in one of them. It was actually really funny, and it was interspersed with the following. Smells Like Nirvana.
That was fun.
He hit that out of the park. That was absolutely great. Then he goes to get changed again, comes out to perform Dare to Be Stupid.
Yeah, that one was well done, too.
Dare to Be Stupid is a great song.
And it's fun as bandmates, and the backup singers didn't change, but sometimes they'd have accessories. Like
They had the
hats or
pom-poms.
Yeah.
For Smells Like Nirvana. And then they had the little Devo hats for Dare to Be Stupid. And then they did White and Nerdy.
Which was awesome.
White and Nerdy is amazing.
And they didn't do the video for the song. They had, like, little
a different version of it with Donny Osmond.
Different. It's just lots of Donny Osmond.
Donny Osmond
which
up
is
there.
part of the best part of that video.
Yes.
If you ever look up, there's a version where you can see the whole song with Weird Al and Donny Osmond dancing, and it's fantastic, and it's so funny. So Donny Osmond makes that video.
Donny Osmond knows he's white and nerdy.
It's so funny. And so they had him a lot in it. And just like...
and fun. Then to finish, the main set was Amish Paradise. Which, yes, please. Absolutely fantastic. Again, they went through the whole costume change for that. And then he did the James Brown act at the end, like, I can't do anymore, I'm done. Thanks for coming out, I'm done. I can't do it. And they put the cape over him, which was all glitter. He's like, I can't do it no more. Do you guys want more music? We're all like, yes. And he's like, I'm sorry, I can't do it. So people started leaving.
People did leave.
People started leaving.
People left. Even though the orchestra is all sitting there.
The lights are not up.
They didn't turn on the house lights. Like, it's still completely dark. And the whole orchestra's just sitting there. And people are leaving as quickly as they can.
Did you notice the girl in the red dress came sprinting back?
There were a few people that came running back.
So he tells you, yeah, we're done. And then stormtroopers came up onto the stage.
No. The piano player came up dressed like Obi-Wan, remember? And he had the crowd cheering. He was doing this side.
Yeah. And then the stormtroopers
It's like
up.
they didn't want to wait too long, but everybody wasn't dressed yet.
Yeah.
So they have him come out and kind of...
Yeah. And then the stormtroopers came up and Darth Vader and one of the Imperial Guards. And it was funny because then...
were Jedis.
Then out comes Weird Al as Anakin. Or not, as Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
I think he even had the tail. I could hardly tell, but I think he probably had the tail as well for the Padawan thing. And he played
Obi-Wan.
He played the Saga Begins, which is my this here Anakin guy.
Which was really fun. They did that so fun with all the stormtroopers and stuff.
And the stormtroopers, and you can see them starting to nod their head.
And then a couple do, and there's one that's just going.
Yeah.
But then they're all dancing.
Yeah.
That was fun.
They're all dancing, pointing their guns, and it was just great. And that got the whole crowd into it because, again, it's based on American Pie. And if there's a song on the planet Earth that is better for singing as a group when you're drunk, American Pie is just the song. That is absolutely the song for that. And Saga Begins isn't much different. Then they went to the orchestra, which played the Star Wars theme. And then right out of that, it went to Yoda.
Yoda, yeah.
Which is based on Lola, which is great because Lola from the Kinks is my favorite song from the Kinks. And it is a very underrated song. One of those songs that the first time I heard it, I was a teenager the first time I heard it. I think it was on like CFMI or something. And I laughed all the way through it. Right. I thought this song is great. This is brilliant. Why have I only been exposed to Come Dancing from this band when there's this fantastic... Because remember, I just watched music videos as a teen. And the whole radio thing was mostly pop music. So when I found a rock station and they played Lola, I'm like, this song's great. But there was no video for it. And I don't think you can make a video for Lola. Yoda, you probably could. But yeah, it's... that was the end of the set, and honestly, I think everybody who was there really enjoyed it. It was fantastic. They mentioned which albums these are from. Mandatory Fun was 3 of them. Straight Outta Linwood's 3 of them. Alapalooza's got 2 of them. Dare to Be Stupid, 2 of them. Off the Deep End, 2 of them. Bad Hair Day 1. That's Amish Paradise. And then there was medleys, one from Running with Scissors, and then of course the UHF soundtrack had one as well. So it's great. If you get a chance to go and see Al, he's fantastic. If you haven't or you missed him, odds are he's probably going to tour again. He was touring while we were together. I remember there was a time where we talked about going to see Weird Al during the Running with Scissors tour. And then we just didn't end up going. I think it was a cost thing at the time.
Yeah, the tickets.
So the funny part of this is I bought the tickets for this while being disappointed by Marilyn Manson.
While we were at that concert.
So as the Marilyn Manson set wore down, I'm like, okay, this has been a negative experience.
It was so disappointing. That was a disappointing concert.
I bought tickets to Al Yankovic.
That was before Rob Zombie came out.
Right. But even after Rob Zombie came out, I still would have bought the tickets because I was just like, this is no. Weird Al knocks it out of the park. He is fantastic.
And it was such a shorter concert than we're used to.
It was 2 hours, and thank God it was a little over 2 hours.
We're used to 4-hour concerts.
Oh, it was so nice. Nice.
It was here. We didn't have to drive to Vancouver.
Right. And it was
nice too.
It was like, wow, somebody that actually gets a concert done before we die. This is great. This is a good idea. More concerts should be shorter and get her done. And I remember, as an example of this, both times I've gone to see Rammstein live, their set is 90 minutes, but the opening act gets like half an hour. So there's a little bit of a setup in between, but it still ends up being a 2.5 hour night, which is perfect. That's what we want. And with Weird Al, we got that last night. It was about 2.5 hours, including the intermission.
Yeah.
And it was fun. I actually really enjoyed the show. He's a great showman, fantastic singer. He's an underrated singer. People get caught in the whole fact that he's into the whole parodies thing. And I think his actual singing voice is underrated. Because there were points last night where he held a note during a song.
Yes.
And it showed. He is very, very good. He's a very underrated singer. And I think he's more talented than he gets credit for. The part that I laughed at the hardest, though, of all the clips they showed was the Madonna interview.
Oh,
that Madonna the whole time is looking up at the ceiling while giving her answer, and Al's... Because they just spliced him into an interview that was on MTV, and since she's always looking at the ceiling, he's... But that whole interview is fantastic. That when he did that, he used to have he'd come up to Much Music as well, and he did Al TV.
Yep, I remember that.
And if I knew Al TV was going to be on Much Music, I wouldn't go anywhere. And it would be like, oh, Shannon, you want to go out and play street hockey? Al TV. There's 2 hours that are spoken for because Weird Al's going to host Much Music, and it's going to be great. And he would play like half of a video and then cut it off, or he'd play a video and while it was playing, he'd talk over it, and he'd just mock it into the ground. And just, there was so much amazingness when he was on TV. I missed that. On some level, I missed that. And then they also showed a fake trailer for a Weird Al movie.
Oh, the movie.
I would love to see that actual movie. It was a Funny or Die clip. That would be an absolutely amazing movie. Just, it would be great. I think that would be an awesome movie. The bio of Weird Al showing the seedier side of things. And it looks like he married Madonna. Olivia Wilde, I think, was supposed to be Madonna.
Well, I don't know if they were married or it was just he had flings.
And Aaron Paul was him. Right. And Aaron Paul's the one from Breaking Bad, the young kid. So I was just like, yeah, that looks like me. It doesn't. It really doesn't. None of it worked, and yet it was still great all at the same time. So if you get a chance to see him do it, I think it's one of my favorite concerts. I know I've been talking to her about doing a top 10 list of the best bands we've seen live.
I've seen some fun ones.
Mine would not include The Offspring.
They were so fun. They were. You just didn't like Sublime. It was marred by Sublime.
They played for 4 hours.
Sublime did?
Yeah, it was 4 hours of just the same ska song over and over again.
That's not true.
It felt like 10.
But Offspring was fantastic.
Pretty sure that I died during their set list and came back to life just in time for the end of the concert. For that last...
Offspring's coming back again.
I know. They're going to play all 5 songs all over again.
Shannon.
It's like a 15-minute set list. I was like,
why? It was 50 minutes.
No, their set list was not 50 minutes.
Yes, it was.
No.
It was just so awesome that the time flew by.
It was not a 50-minute set list.
It was, actually.
Nah, it wasn't. No. But Al played for longer than 50 minutes last night. He did about an hour and a half. And he was fun. So we can agree on that. Which is important. We may have differing opinions. In this case, she's wrong about Offspring. Which is okay. You're allowed to have the wrong opinion. And that's just the way that works sometimes.
Are you saying you don't want to go see Offspring again? That'd be so fun.
I can't. I can't, because I know it'll be some 41s pulled out, but thankfully we got a replacement. It's Sublime, and then I'm running to the van.
No,
I'm like, I'll meet you later.
With that concert, it's not just that it was Sublime, which you can't stand, but there was an opening act that was also ska,
and there was a half an hour in between every band.
There was.
Bloody ridiculous.
So you had an hour and
None
a half
of them had
of ska
had a major stage show. None of them had a big set.
No, they had a curtain.
Ridiculous. Thank you, Al. Thank you, Al, for making things right. And I will definitely go see Weird Al Yankovic wherever he's playing. Comes anywhere near here, whether it's Vancouver, Abbotsford. I even go up to the Okanagan and see him if he goes up there, if he doesn't come down here. If he doesn't come here...
Why would he go to the Okanagan and not come to Vancouver?
Because there's fun stuff in the Okanagan. Like the lake.
Well,
he might enjoy the lake. Maybe. Weird Al might be a lake kind of guy. So there you go. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, it was a great concert last night. I know there were subscribers that were there and friends of mine, that families were there. And that's, I think, the best part of this, too. It is completely family-friendly. It is very, very family-friendly. And sometimes that's missing from concerts, especially when we go to the metal shows. It's
concerts we go to.
Constant
There's
F-bombs.
There's a lot of people that bring their kids to them, though.
I know, but Corey Taylor...
And you know what?
Quite the potty mouth on Corey Taylor.
It sure was a lot quieter. It didn't hurt my ears at all.
No, and yet, like I said,
nice.
the crowd participation was huge. Everybody had a good time, and it was great.
And they really kept the photography phones up to a
they
minimum.
cracked down on the photography.
So you were allowed to take photos, you were allowed to take videos, but if you had your camera up the whole time, they'd go and tell you, stop.
Yeah, knock it off.
You couldn't have any flash, but I did see them talking to people that were taking videos of the whole thing. They're like, put your camera down. Mm-hmm. You're blocking people's view. Which, yes, that's obnoxious.
I saw very, very few cameras, and I was very happy about that.
Yeah, you see people just put them up for a little bit.
I just took a picture of the backdrop. That's the only picture I took.
I did do a little video of the Star Wars, and I usually do that. Like when we go to a concert, I will do like a mini video, not even a whole song.
I usually do, but it's if it's allowed, and because it wasn't allowed, and I had an aisle seat, I'm like, I'm not taking that chance.
It was allowed. I heard her talking when we were going in.
I was on an aisle seat. I wasn't getting booted out. I wasn't getting dragged kicking and screaming out of a Weird Al concert.
It's not how that happened.
It wasn't going to happen.
It's not what they were doing.
I will abide by your rules, Al. I believe in your rules, Al. She, not as much. She's more rebellious than I am.
Right.
Though. Definitely. All right. Thank you guys so much for all your support. And we will talk to you again soon.